Hello everyone and welcome back to another video, and yes, the first Hookster Talks of 2024, and there's a reason for that because we finally got some Formula 1 news, and that is that Gunther Steiner has been released from his contract. That's sacked to you and me, yes, so no more Gunther Steiner in Formula 1. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Let's go to the official Formula 1 website then for confirmation. Yes, Gunther Steiner leaves his role as the Haas team principal with immediate effect as Ayao Komatsu is promoted. There's another name that's just going to roll off the tongue for the next few years in Formula 1, isn't it? Oh my goodness. So there you go. As you can see, he doesn't look very happy then as old Gunther. But anyway, let's have a little read. So Gunther Steiner has left his role as team principal of Haas F1 team, with Director of Engineering Ayao Komatsu stepping up to replace him. Steiner has led the team since the American squad entered F1 in 2016. The Italian was F1's third longest serving team principal behind Red Bull's Christian Horner and Mercedes' Toto Wolff, and a popular figure in the sport after he took a starring role in Netflix's Drive to Survive series. The team enjoyed genuine highs while under his guidance, including points on debut in Australia in 2016, a maiden pole position in Brazil last year, and a 5th place finish in the Constructors' Championship in 2018. However, last year was tough for them. Haas finished last in the Constructors' Championship, a drop of 2 places on the previous season, as they struggled to transform one-lap pace in qualifying into point-scoring race pace on Sunday. After discussions between Steiner and owner Gene Haas over the winter, it was decided that Steiner would leave the organisation with immediate effect. His replacement, Komatsu, 47, has worked with Haas since they debuted in F1 in 2016, starting as a chief race engineer and rising to director of engineering. He has over 20 years of experience in Formula 1, working across engineering and management roles with British American Racing, plus a long stint at Renault before he joined Haas. Haas say Komatsu will take responsibility for the team's overall strategy and ultimately on-track performance, with a brief to maximise the team's potential through employer empowerment and structural process and efficiency. If that wasn't a lawyer sentence right there, I don't know what isn't. I really don't. Oh my God, what a load of bullshit. With Komatsu focused on the on-track performance, Haas plan to recruit a European-based chief operating officer who... I mean, these names are just getting ridiculous now. It really is. Honestly. These bloody names, who will look after all non-competition matters and departments, including areas such as HR, admin, finance, marketing, and communications. Fantastic. So there you go. The great man, he is gone. Owner Gene Haas said, "I'd like to start by extending my thanks to Gunther Steiner for all his hard work over the past decade, and I wish him well for the future. Moving forward as an organisation, it was clear we need to improve our on-track performances, so in other words, he has been directly attributed to Haas's on-track disappointments." Yes, there you go. The man at the top has had his head cut off completely, because that's exactly what Gene is saying there. It was his fault, so we got rid of him. Fantastic. Finally, Gene, finally, you got your head out your arse. Finally. I mean, it's been way too long. I mean, I swear he's only been there for Netflix these past few years because he is entertaining on that Drive to Survive. Not that I've ever seen it, of course, but I understand that he's very entertaining on that. But as a team principal, the last few years anyway, he's been absolute crap. And you can't base performances and saying about how well they did when they first entered the sport in 2016. Because let's face it, that car was basically just a glorified Ferrari anyway in 2016. And yes, they did put some good performances in. They have had some good performances. But overall, the team since 2016 has been seriously disappointed. I mean, they've got 2 drivers there at the moment, which are no way would you say of Nikita Mazepin quality. They are really decent drivers, and yet they just cannot seem to maximise any performance out of the car. And unfortunately, the buck stops at the top. And Gunther Steiner is that buck at the top, and he has been gone. Head gone, chopped off, goodbye, Gunther Steiner. To be honest though, I've always thought of Gunther Steiner as the mini-me of Toto Wolff, to be honest. Yes, I've always thought that he was just like, a smaller version of Toto. It was like, that's what Toto will be when he was, or that's what Toto was when he was younger. And now, he's grown up and this is what Gunther Steiner is. That's always what I thought of Gunther Steiner anyway. So yeah, personally, I'm glad he's gone. I hope that they can do some restructuring. But from that bullshit that I've just read out, it seems to me like that's going to be another terrible year for Haas because, unfortunately, in Formula One, it's all about continuity. And now they haven't got that because the boss has gone. I mean, not the big boss. Gene Haas is still there, but, the actual team principal, he's gone. It's going to take a long time for his replacement to get settled in, and they're also talking about having other new people in. It's going to be a very bad year, 2024, for Haas once again. And I can understand the reasons why it's been done because something had to be done. You can't just carry on forever throwing, shit at a fan to see if it sticks or not, and it hasn't. It clearly hasn't. Now, for the future, hopefully they can turn it around and Haas can get back into being a sort of midfield team again, which they really were sort of, from the 2018 era. But as I say, recently they've really dropped off the pace. So hopefully they can. But unfortunately, it looks like it's going to be a couple of years now of building again, building the team back up again, getting everyone, all the new people in the team back into, a rhythm and to get it going again. So sadly, I think for Haas, it's not going to be happening again for the next 2 years. It's going to be 2026, I think, before we see any improvement whatsoever. But personally, I don't think any improvement is going to come from that team. I just don't think they've got, the expertise, the resources, what they need to push that team forward. And some of that has to be attributed, unfortunately, to Gene Haas. I mean, the guy must be getting on quite a bit now. I remember him back in karting back in the 90s. So he must be getting on a bit now. Maybe it's time for Gene Haas to step down as well and for someone else to come in and inject even more new blood into the outfit. I'm not sure. Gene might be quite happy to continue for quite a few more years yet. But it just seems that, blaming Gunther Steiner is, fair enough. But he is basically the owner of the team, as far as I know, still. So, some of that blame has to go to him as well. So maybe it would be better if he stepped down from Formula One as well. I don't know. But anyway, so there you go. Terrible news for all you Gunther Steiner fans out there. There he is. I'll give you one last picture just to remember him because once he's gone, yeah, you never see him again in Formula One. No. I can't see it. I can't see it, unfortunately. So let's just continue this statement. We have had some successes, this is Gene Haas, but we need to be consistent in delivering results that help us reach our wider goals as an organisation. We need to be efficient with the resources we have, but improving our design and engineering capacity. Yes, you see, he also recognises that he's got to improve the engineering and the design because that's the key factor in the car that is not getting them further up the grid. It really isn't. I'm not quite sure whether they are still basically a Ferrari car these days. It's been a long time since that deal back in 2016. I don't know whether they are or whether they're actually building these cars themselves or not. Can't actually remember. But anyway, that's what they need. They need to improve to make that team successful again. I'm looking forward to working with IO and fundamentally ensuring that we maximise our potential. This truly reflects my desire to compete properly in Formula One. So have they not been competing properly in Formula One for the last 5 years? That's a very funny statement, Gene. Very funny indeed. But yeah, so there you go. Finally, they recognise that there's problems at Haas. Oh, and there is the replacement man. Yeah, so there you go. Gunther Steiner is no more. Gunther Steiner fans, I apologise if you are a Gunther Steiner fan, but he won't ever be seen in Formula One again once you're sacked as a team principal. You don't really get seen in the circles of Formula One. He might pop up in a few interviews at some point in the future, but his involvement in Formula One, unfortunately, is now over. So there you go. Sad news. Well, not really. It was to be expected. But Gunther Steiner has now officially left the building. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Let me know in the comments whether you think this is good news, tragic news, or do you think that Haas can pull it out and basically get back up into the midfield again like they were a few years ago? Personally, I don't think so, but let me know, all you lovely people out there, what you think, and whether you're upset or whether you're glad that Gunther Steiner has been let go from his team principal role at Haas. Thanks so much for watching, everyone, and I'll catch you in the next video.